Dan Evans. Welcome to Couch Conversations. My guest is Matt Corozine, acting teacher. We are here in his studio today, and thanks for taking the time to speak to me.
This is great. This is awesome. Thank you, Dan.
So now, like I said, we're here in your studio. You founded your studio theater here in 2000.
Mm-hmm.
Can you talk to me about the process of creating your own studio, and how has that evolved over the past 17 years?
Yeah, I mean, I think, or I tell my students anyway, I took all my anxiety and depression in my 20s, and I think I funneled it into creating a community for myself, because I think I really needed a home base, and I needed a place to not do it all by myself, because I felt that way as an actor, I felt that way just in life. So I think that's what I did back in the late 90s, early 2000s. I was like, you know what, I need my own place to do some work and to coach actors and to be part of that. So that's what I did, and it's evolved a lot. I mean, we just built this new space 2 years ago. We're always trying to expand and grow and keep getting the word out about what we do and what we believe in, and training actors to be the best that they possibly can. So it's exciting.
You specialize in teaching the Meisner technique.
Mm-hmm.
What drew you to that method?
Yeah, I mean, as an undergrad, most theater majors get like a potpourri of many different methods, and you kind of gravitate towards one. And for me, I think that was the scarier one. It was the one that was a little more, really relied more on me being myself and bringing my vulnerability and my truth to acting, which is something that always scared me, but it's something that I always wanted and needed to be seen, and I needed to be heard on such a greater level than real life supplied. So the Meisner work really unraveled my socialized way of being to really get me down to like raw creative Matt. So I think in that aspect of teaching someone to be moment to moment, I always loved improv, and I was always great with improvisation. But then in acting technique, I always felt there was sometimes a wall between the character and for me. And I felt the Meisner technique was the first needle with thread that pulled it through of like, hey Matt, we're going to use this part of your personality into this imaginary circumstance, and that's how we build character. I was like, oh wow, I always thought it was about getting rid of me. And then I finally learned through the Meisner work it was about incorporating the sides of me that I tried to get rid of. So for me, that was such a relief that I could actually be me in the paradox it is of in acting. I could be more myself.
What would you say was the catalyst for you to become a teacher?
Yeah, I remember I had an agent and a manager back in 2000, and I remember they needed more headshots and I was out of them. And I remember I was like, I just started one class, like I had 5 students, I started once a week, I was waiting tables, I was auditioning, and I worked on a show, and my theater manager at the time, or production manager at the time, she said, you know, you should teach how you're directing people. I said, well, I'm just teaching them to listen and react and be in the moment, some of the Meisner fundamental tools that I learned through my training. She said, I'm renting you a space at Shetler Studio. You're going to go there on Tuesday night. You're going to charge people $15. This is true. I'm going to get some of my actor friends, you get some of your actor friends, and you're going to start an acting class. And this is really true, and I did. Her name was Kathy. She made me do all that, so to speak. She saw something in me as a director and as a teacher, that I was just this natural leader, and that was in me. And then I had, like I said, this manager and this agent that needed headshots. And then I was like, I made this ad for Backstage, you know, saying I'm going to start teaching acting and da-da-da-da-da. And I remember I had just enough money that, do I put the ad in the paper or do I get more headshots? And I put the ad into the paper at that time, like nothing was online or anything. And so that's really, that I remember that day, like that was a shift in like, all right, I'm now going to commit to this, and I'm not going to get new headshots.
Obviously, when people come in to your class,
mm-hmm.
they're looking to learn the skill. They're looking to hone their skills as an actor. If they're not already working actors, they want to become working actors.
Mm-hmm.
So in addition to just coaching them up and making them sharper and making them understand their instrument and how to work and
mm-hmm.
behave like a professional actor in a working world where they want to be, what do you hope that they get out of being in your class?
Going beyond my thoughts and going beyond myself, something else is possible. So I hope my students get that. I hope they're listening and hearing of human beings, and attraction and curiosity to human beings and human behavior is forever a hunger and a thirst that will never be quenched, because I think that keeps us alive and going and interested in exactly what we're doing now, finding out about this. I just think that's so important and learning about hope. I always say hope needs some PR. It has like hope. It's sort of like dainty and stupid, but I really think that hope is actually a confronting, meaningful, heavy word that we really need on this planet and in this world. And I think the arts and artists need to bring what's possible on this planet forward as opposed to what's probable and cynical. So I think art can kind of break cynicism, and I think I want my students to be in that conversation. I want them to get that distinction and how they can play a part in that, even beyond getting an acting job.
Is there a favorite aspect that you have when you come to class? To sit back and watch and coach and work with your students? Is there something that singularly now, maybe more than 17 years ago, stands out about how you work with your students?
I think one of my favorite things with my students is I make them write. So I'll make them write personal monologues. That's one of their first assignments here, is writing a story from their own life. That's difficult to say that they wouldn't just tell anybody. I don't proof that before they come. They do that in their second week as a student here. It has to be written and memorized by their third class. So I really throw them to the wolves, so to speak, of I'm new in this acting class in New York City. I've been assigned this personal monologue that I gotta say, like you said, in a group of people I've never met before, and this teacher is asking me to be vulnerable right now. So people are either gonna get on base, or they're gonna strike out, or they're gonna hit a home run. I don't know what they're gonna do. And I literally will sit in my chair and I'm like, they'll hand me their PM1 or they'll email it to Heidi that morning. I don't read it. I really give them space to, like, they can say and do whatever the hell they want. I have no idea what's gonna happen. And that's one of my favorite things, is like, it keeps me on my toes. I have no idea what this person, who I don't know, I've only known for 3 classes, I'm starting to be their coach, and I coach their instincts and impulses, and I think I'm a whiz with human behavior, but I have no idea what this person's gonna say right now. 0. So I'm scared but excited. I think that kind of stuff excites me.
What are your hopes for your studio going forward in the future? Are there any specific goals that you have for this place going forward?
My hopes and dreams are to expand my staff and contributing to artists making money and building their lives here in New York and elsewhere.
That all sounds great.
I mean, that's what I want to do.
It's a community that you built it.
It's community.
That's great. That's great. Well, you know what? I want to thank you so much for taking the time to allow me to come into your studio and talk to you about your classes rather.
Yeah.
Talk everything you've been doing for the last 2 decades.
It's crazy when you say it like that.
Yeah, well, it's great. I mean, you've been doing this for a while, and it seems like your passion for it is still obviously really there, and that's what keeps you going, right?
Yeah, so, it really does.
It's fantastic. Thanks very much.
Thank you so much.
Appreciate
It's such a pleasure. Thank you.
This is great. I really appreciate it a lot, Matt. If you want to learn more about Matt's studio, you got to go online and check out his website. It's MattCorozineInterview.com. For more information about that, any classes, anything you want to know, check him out. And thanks for joining us today. We're going to have more episodes, so stay tuned.